You ready?
Okay, so we'll now move to the Sullivan County Funding Corp meeting, and we'll call it to order. Julio, roll call, please.
Ms. Sullivan.
Here.
Ms. Sullivan's present, Mr. Sykes. Here. Mr. Smith is present, Ms. Roy. Mr. Ray is present, Mr. Smith. Here. Mr. Smith is present, and Ms. Slack.
Here.
Ms. Slack is present, Mr. Siegel and Mr. Gunther, Mr. Brooks, and Mr. Brown.
We note that Mr. Gunther and Mr. Siegel are present by video. So the first order is of business is to approve the meeting minutes of October 16th. Everyone had a chance to look at that. Can I have a motion? Ed and Kathleen, all in favor, say aye. Aye. That's the part where I'm gonna make up the time.
You don't get paid extra.
All in, did I say all in favor? All in favor? Aye, okay, any opposed? Okay, next, bills and communications.
We have no bills for.
No bills for funding. Okay, so that's that. And new business, we have one resolution.
Well, we have one matter of old business, which we need to take an executive session, so we would ask you to do the same thing at the end of.
At the end of this, we'll recess it and go back to that. Okay, so new business, we have one resolution related to the acceptance of the assignment of the loan and loan funds from the county of Sullivan. And that is something you want to explain, make sure everybody understands what happened.
So that's the same thing as the IDA, in that the county with one resolution authorized the transfer of its loans and loan funds and the one lease that we just discussed, to the funding corp and the IDA. So all of the loans and loan funds are coming to the funding corp. And there are, I think, 14 loans, 14 and one lease, I think, is that right?
And,
yeah.
Right.
And so again, we're working with the county to gather all the documents and information so that we can begin administering those loans.
So my only question is, I'm just gonna my legal hat on for a minute, just to make sure we're not inheriting, with all due respect. We did not administer those loans, so now we, the IDA, are taking those over and going forward with the administering of those loans. Is there any actual agreement between us and the county?
There's the resolutions and there is an agreement, yes.
Just to make sure that there's no language in there that,
The answer is there's an agreement,
right?
and the agreement was drafted by Will Frank on behalf of the IDA
Okay.
and the county attorney's
So it
office.
protects us from anything that happened before we got it, is where I'm going with this.
I'm not sure what you're concerned about.
I don't know that I'm concerned about anything, I'm just being.
We're not responsible for things the county does, and the county's not responsible for things we do, so there's nothing to protect us from. There is an agreement, though, that deals with the potential for this to run afoul of, like, the grant programs where these loan funds originated. They originated long ago. They're, in everyone's opinion, well past where there's any administrative oversight by the CDBG section of the U.S. Department of Commerce or the USDA. So there is an agreement in place. I don't know that there's any, I didn't look at it carefully enough to know if there's any like cross indemnification provisions, but we're not responsible for the county and the county's not responsible for us. So I'm not concerned about it.
Okay. You're the lawyer.
Question.
These
Go ahead,
are all
Howard
the loans that were administered by the planning department?
Correct.
Go ahead, Howard.
Are they labor intensive to administer? Are there fees attached to it?
We're not charging any fees. The agency has plenty of funds available and there shouldn't be any. I mean, we administer, for example, on the lease side, the IDA administers 19 equipment leases. Now we're going to be administering 20.
All right, so there's nothing minimus. All right.
There's no expectation that there'll be any need for additional folks. And, you know, there is one more part of this. Do you want me to take that on before we vote? I'm happy to do that. We intend to bring to the January meeting a resolution to engage the National Development Council to assist us in amalgamating all of our loan programs into a single fund, which would be much more efficient in terms of administration. There's currently a Millennium Fund, there's an RMAP fund, there's all these different funds, which were all established at a time when when the grants that created the loan programs had strings attached to them. Those are all gone now. And the other thing, there was recently proposed, and in the past there have been proposed loans that may or may not meet like typical lenders' quality requirements in terms of the borrowers. They could be for a restaurant, for example, which is risky, or they could be borrowers who had a checkered credit history in the past. We're also going to be asking NDC to work with our staff to rate the loans, sort of a class A, class B, class C loan, and to give us a proposed allocation of our loan fund so that there would be some percentage of our loan fund that would be available to make less than perfect quality loans. But we wouldn't be opening up all of the loan funds to less than credit quality loans. So if we made some lower quality loans and our loan fund in the aggregate had $3 million, $2 million, and we said that 10% of that could be low quality loans. If we've already loaned out that 200,000, then that would be our answer to someone who comes with a low quality loan, which is we have a silo, and the stack of the silo for the type of loan you're asking for has already been loaned out. But it would give us more flexibility than we have, which has been something that the county loan programs have always had. They've had more flexibility than ours.
That's an excellent idea, whoever came up with that.
Will make it easier to administer then, because you're not having the separate bookkeeping of each of the funds, or
Yes,
still
it'll be-
gonna have to track it by.
It'll be easier to administer. It'll be one or more loan funds, but certainly less than 7.
Mhm.
There's currently about $400,000. It's not employed. That coming over?
Yes. And there's currently money in our loan funds that are not deployed.
Okay.
And there's currently, money that's paid back every month by most of the loans. There's some that are in default, but by most of the loans.
Well, on the portfolio that's coming over, there's no in default.
The portfolio that's coming over has 3 loans in default.
No, those are things that should have been charged about 10 years.
It doesn't make any difference if they should have been, they weren't. So we'll have that discussion once we have NDC come in and tell us that they should be charged off.
I made the recommendation numerous times.
I understand, they just never did it.
I mean, dead beyond dead. They were given out to Jaeger for collection, and he gave through all the standards, there's enough to collect, can't find the people. And for some reason, I couldn't get the county to write them off.
Well, maybe this board will make a different decision.
Okay. The other thing is that there's interest associated with these loans. So it's gonna generate revenue to administer the loans that the IDA wouldn't otherwise have. When the question was just asked, what additional burden will it put on the IDA? Actually, it's an income to the IDA.
Yeah, and as with all of our other loan funds, absent a policy change, that income will go back in the loan fund and revolve for the benefit of future borrowers, not be used to offset any of the IDA's administrative budget.
Okay, so now let's go back to the resolution that I guess is before us, now that we have a better understanding of what's gonna happen.
You need a motion. and a second.
Yeah, so I just, sorry, my computer timed out on me and I wanna. Back to what it said, here it is. Okay, so we need a motion to accept the assignment of these loans and loan funds from the county to the IDA, to the funding court. I'll make a motion to have. Oh, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Public comment for the Sullivan County Funding Court? No. Okay, so we'll motion to adjourn.
Reset.
Oh, sorry. Motion to recess. Okay. Kathleen and Scott made that. All in favor? Aye, okay, so